Alicia Bailey stood frozen, champagne dripping down her designer suit. The entire first-class cabin silent. The black man she'd just lectured stood in front of her, calmly extending a business card. Elijah Washington, CEO of Horizon Airlines. Behind him, the flight attendants exchanged looks as Alicia's face drained of color and the reality of her mistake set in. Before we get into this wild ride, where are you watching from today? Hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you've ever had an airport moment go sideways. All right, let's rewind and see how Alicia's day led her to this unforgettable humiliation at 30,000 feet. Alicia was 42, a white marketing executive who fancied herself openman detonating to causes, attending a protest or two, and always talking up her diverse network of friends from work. But this Tuesday was a disaster from start. Her alarm failed, the car's service canceled, and she found herself crammed into an Uber, watching the clock and biting her lip as traffic inched toward Atlanta Airport. Her driver, Gerald, was a middle-aged black man, polite and unruffled. "We'll get you there, ma'am. Airport's just up ahead." Alicia barely managed a tight smile. "I'm in first class. They won't wait if I'm late." Gerald just nodded, explaining there was no faster route. Alicia made a show of sighing loudly, drumming her nails on the door. When they finally reached the terminal, she snatched her Louis Vuitton suitcase, muttered something that wasn't quite a thank you, and hustled toward security, dropping a 3-star rating as she went. At the TSA line, she flashed her platinum frequent flyer card and cut ahead, barely looking at the agent. By the time she got to gate A23, the final boarding call was already echoing. She darted past the economy line, waved her boarding pass, and hustled onto the plane, already mentally settling into her favorite seat, 3A. Window, left side, perfect for privacy and morning light. Except when she reached row 3, her stride stopped short. Someone was in her seat, a black man in a crisp navy suit, focused on his tablet. Alicia checked her boarding pass. "Excuse me," she said, voice clipped. "I believe you're in my seat. I'm 3A." The man looked up, calm and unbothered. "I'm also in 3A," he said, showing his pass. Alicia barely glanced at it, insisting there must be a mistake. "I always sit here. I'm a platinum medallion member." "So am I," he replied, returning to his tablet. Alicia, flustered and annoyed, flagged down a flight attendant, Tasha, whose name tag she noted with barely hidden irritation. Tasha reviewed both boarding passes, apologetic but firm. "Ms. Bailey, our system has you in 3B. Mr. Washington is in 3A." Alicia huffed, her frustration on display. She shoved her bag into the overhead with a little too much force and slumped into 3B, body angled away from her seatmate, purse on the armrest as a makeshift barrier. As they settled in, Tasha returned, offering drinks. Alicia's request for sparkling water with lime was brisk, not making eye contact. Elijah, on the other hand, knew Tasha's name, thanked her warmly. Alicia took a long sip, her mood souring further when another attendant, Devin, greeted Elijah by name and asked if he needed anything special for the flight. "I like a blanket," Alicia snapped, already annoyed that no one ever recognized her without reading her boarding pass. From the corner of her eye, she watched as Elijah's glassware looked fancier. His meal seemed special, and every crew member addressed him with an ease she'd never experienced despite all her status. All her miles. She dialed her assistant, speaking loudly about her board presentation and the entire quarterly strategy, wanting the whole cabin to know she was important. When the meal service came, Elijah got a special salmon dish, just like last month, with the adjustments you requested. Alicia's standard vegetarian pasta came with cheese, despite her request for no dairy. "Excuse me," she said sharply, I'm lactose intolerant. It's in my profile. Devin apologized, promised to fix it. Alicia couldn't help but gripe about the special treatment, not hiding her annoyance. Elijah, always calm, told her there was no need to escalate. The crew would correct the mistake. Of course you'd say that, Alicia muttered, unable to resist a jab. She spent much of the flight picking apart every detail, feeling more and more sidelined. The turbulence hit suddenly. Alicia jolted awake to find her tray table knocked over, water soaking her presentation documents. "Did you bum my tray?" she demanded, turning her frustration on Elijah, who calmly pointed out the turbulence. Alicia's voice rose. Passengers glanced over. Tasha hurried over, offering napkins and water. But Alicia only complained more, implying that the crew just didn't understand real business needs. When Tasha moved away, Alicia muttered, "These people," loud enough for Elijah to hear. He finally spoke up, his voice steady. "Ms. Bailey." That comment was unnecessary and inappropriate. Alicia, now embarrassed and defensive, snapped, "I don't recall asking your opinion." Elijah explained calmly that when you talk loudly enough for the whole cabin to hear, you make it everyone's business. Alicia huffed and asked to speak to his supervisor. When the lead flight attendant, Rebecca Chun, arrived, she greeted Elijah warmly before turning to Alicia, who demanded to know why she wasn't receiving the same treatment as other passengers. Rebecca, professional as ever, explained operational seat changes and did her best to address Alicia's complaints. As Alicia tried to recruit another first-class passenger to her side, he quietly warned her, "Do you know who he is? That's Elijah Washington, CEO of Horizon." The revelation rocked Alicia. Suddenly, all the deference, the special meals, the crystal glass where everything made sense. Her face flushed as Devin showed her the Horizon Airlines executive page on his tablet, featuring Elijah's photo and biography. Elijah explained he flew commercial to better understand the customer experience. Alicia, realizing her behavior, tried to pivot to small talk, mentioning she lived in Oakwood Heights, Elijah's childhood neighborhood, now gentrified. The awkwardness thickened as he explained how the neighborhood had changed for his parents. A violent burst of turbulence sent oxygen masks tumbling from the ceiling. Elijah immediately helped an elderly woman with her mask, then checked on Alicia. When the emergency landing was announced, Elijah was calm, commanding the ground team via phone and making arrangements for all passengers first class, business, and economy alike. Alicia saw him in a new light, not entitled, but a true leader. After landing, while being processed in Denver, Alicia tried to make amends, but found herself repeatedly stonewalled, not out of spite, but because the priority was safety and fairness for all passengers, not just the privileged. When she realized Horizon's parent company actually owned her firm, the irony hit hard. She'd been antagonizing not just the CEO of her preferred airline, but also her own corporate overlord. That night, unable to sleep, Alicia found Elijah dining alone in the hotel restaurant. She apologized, really apologized to him for the first time, listened as he shared his journey from baggage handler to CEO, his belief in empathy over privilege, and his deliberate choice to give people second chances, but only if they were willing to learn. The next morning, Alicia was reassigned to Economy Plus. Initially, she bristled, but Elijah explained this was a chance to understand the real customer experience. Her board presentation, once focused on exclusivity, was hastily revised to include themes of inclusion and empathy, which she now realized Horizon truly valued. Months later, Alicia's new role was not as a marketing exec, but as the head of community engagement and inclusion, working to help longtime residents and small businesses in neighborhoods like Oakwood Heights. At the company holiday party, Elijah congratulated her team. Alicia, now changed, understood that real leadership and real transformation starts with humility, not status. And maybe, just maybe, the most important seat on the plane isn't in first class at all. If this story hit home, like and subscribe. Have you ever misjudged someone and had to face your own biases? Drop your story in the comments. Remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Sometimes the ticket to real change is sitting in Economy Plus.